I would like to share with you some Rhema knowledge that Father gave me one Sunday while my wife and I were fasting. As many of you know, Deborah and I have been fasting on the first day of the week since January 2008, and it has actually changed our spiritual life in many ways. In Galatians 1:12, Paul tells us that the gospel he taught did not come from man, but by revelation. And you couple this with the fact that we are living in the near closing part of the sixth day, or the end of the 6,000-year time frame since creation, at a time when a double portion of manna is falling from heaven on those who have ears to hear from the Spirit. And we are truly living in a time when the body of Messiah is being given truth by revelation at an unprecedented rate, spoken of by Daniel in 12:4, during a time when knowledge would increase, which I believe is for the purpose of preparing a remnant that will be faithful to walk before Father blamelessly in his Torah to the next level in the last days. For the Torah, according to Psalms 19:7, is what converts the soul by not only showing us what is sin, but what is righteousness. No doubt the glory cloud has moved to the next level, and not all the brethren have discerned this. Having said all this, I would like to share with you the revelation I received about the fall of Lucifer. And I will start with the word serpent that is used in Genesis 3:1, which reads, "Now the serpent was more crafty than any of the wild animals Yahuwah had made." It's interesting to note that the word crafty in Hebrew has a root word which means very prudent in counsel. Now, most of us that have come out of a church background have a picture of a creature impressed on our minds that was very sinister, that spoke in a whisper. Well, I propose to you that this is not even close to the truth of what happened. Granted, we know that Lucifer, after he fell, is called the serpent, the deceiver or Satan, the devil. But when did the fall actually occur? I propose to you Lucifer fell at the same time Adam and Eve fell. For confirmation, I consulted Eric Bessel, who is a Paleo-Hebrew scholar, because I wanted to know what the meaning of the word serpent was in Paleo-Hebrew. And to do this, we had to look at the separate meaning of each Hebrew letter in the original language of Paleo-Hebrew. It is actually 3 letters, Nun, Het, and Shin. I'll cut to the chase and tell you that the meaning of these 3 letters describes a living being made up of light or fire that is called to protect or guard life. Obviously, an angel. We know from some of the lost books of the Bible that Adam and Eve saw and spoke with angels regularly. I submit to you that this being was Lucifer, the chief cherub, in his glorified state prior to his fall, who they trusted and knew very well. Adam and Eve were created perfect according to Torah. They had discernment, wisdom, and understanding that can hardly be comprehended by our standards today, and yet were completely innocent. In comparison, we think with probably less than 10% of our mind, because we live in an oxygen-deprived environment, while they lived in an environment that creation scientists believe had 3 times the oxygen levels we have today, due to the canopy or firmament shield around the earth, which caused them to be able to think and reason with 100% of their minds. Adam and Eve were not stupid or gullible, but they trusted Father and all the creations with them that were placed in the garden. To actually think that our Heavenly Father would actually place Lucifer in a fallen state as the devil in the Garden of Eden with his most precious creations is not only ludicrous, but it goes completely against Father's character. Personally, I don't think Father would have let Lucifer near the garden if his fall was prior to their creation. I further submit to you that Lucifer, down deep inside, became jealous of Adam and Eve over time and questioned why Father would create these inferior beings and call the angelic realm to serve them. This was beneath Lucifer's character, and he bided his time, trying to come up with a plan that would cause them to lose favor with Father. I don't believe Lucifer had one conversation that led to Eve eating the forbidden fruit. They probably had many conversations with him and trusted his friendship and knowledge. Yet a day came when he planted a seed with his words which led to curiosity and then doubt and finally rebellious sin. And the Almighty pronounced his judgment on all 3 at the same time. For nothing was hidden from Father as to how things played out that day, or the events which led up to it, and who was guilty of what. But the way Father pronounced judgment calls all heaven and earth as witnesses as to how the consequences of their rebellious actions will play out, that even Paul alludes to in 1 Corinthians 4, verse 9, and Ephesians 3, verse 10. Lucifer's inward jealous feelings were exposed, and he has been put to open shame and embarrassment, and he blames his fall on the creation of man. and he hates us with every fiber of his being, especially if we try to serve Father by following in his Torah. For he is out to prove that Father ultimately made a mistake in creating us. And if he can cause mankind to fall, he believes he will prove his case and will be, if not elevated back to his authority, at least escape the lake of fire. So consequently, every time he can get someone, especially a believer, to follow contrary to Father's Torah, in his mind, he is justified for what he did by showing all creation that mankind not only cannot be trusted, but he was justified for what he did in the garden. Not only are the stakes high in this war, Satan has done everything in his power to keep Father's creation from walking in the teachings and instructions for life, his Torah. Satan has not only tried to destroy the seed of Abraham that brought the Messiah, but when Yeshua came, he tried to give him rule and authority over his kingdom by tempting him. And when he saw that Yeshua was not going to bow down and submit to him, but was going around revealing truth to the sons of Adam, Satan then set out to kill him, but in doing so, played right into Father's perfect plan. For by the Messiah surrendering his life in our stead, not only did he show what extent the Godhead was willing to sacrifice to save us by providing his own blood as atonement, but he showed a love for us that had no limits to all creation. And consequently, Satan lost the most important battle at Calvary and played right into Father's hands. The Almighty, in his infinite wisdom, is allowing thousands of years to turn a situation from bad to good in a way that will establish a foundation for all eternity of his righteousness and his love he has for us, that we will not only never forget, but draw profound wisdom and understanding from for all eternity. I'm Bill Sanford with the Torah Thought for the day.